Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to use this medium to appreciate those who have subscribed to my channel, and for those who have not subscribed, please subscribe. Subscribe, you're missing a lot. So today I'm going to be sharing some helpful tips about tomatoes and a good way to actually prepare them in order to still maintain or keep or conserve the nutritional content of tomatoes. So what are the nutritional benefits of tomatoes? They are really much, and I cannot exhaust all of them in this video. But if you want to have a general view or some other useful benefits of consuming tomatoes, you can find that in the description part of my video. So, but some of the proper helpful benefits of consuming tomatoes is that they can help to boost your immune system. They can help to prevent cancer. They can also help to maintain a good blood sugar level. So diving into the preparation part, you have to give the tomatoes a good wash. Then before that, I'm going to be blending in with some sweet red bell pepper. Sweet red bell peppers are also very helpful, They have their own nutritional content also, which I'll be discussing in my upcoming videos. And also be blending it with some garlic. Garlic are very nutritional, very nutritional, and then the ginger too. So all of these I'm going to be sharing about their health benefits on my upcoming videos. So before that, before blending the tomatoes, I have to give all of this a very quick wash. You have to wash it. Then you have to open up the raw bell pepper. It has seeds inside, so you open it up, remove the seeds, because you don't want to have the seeds in your tomato stew or soup. So remove the seeds. Take your time to remove the seeds. You remove it this way. Then the red bell peppers, some of them are actually yellow in color, and then some are red. Then like we have over here, some are also mixed. You see, red and yellow mixed together. So the sweet red bell pepper actually gives a flavor and then some color to the tomato stew or soup. I'll be discussing all of its usefulness in my next video. So you have to give all of this a quick wash. Then you have to cut off the head of the tomatoes, because you don't want that in the stew or soup. You have to cut it off. So I'm going to give this a quick wash and then slice them up so that we can have them blended. So here I'm going to cut them off, cut the head of the tomatoes off, cut it off, cut all of them off this way, cut them off. Tomatoes are really very nutritional, You can use tomatoes to make different recipes. You can use them in your egg, you can use them in your salads, you can eat them raw this way, They are very nutritional and very sumptuous. You can use them in making smoothies. Yeah, you can use them in making smoothies. You can use them in your salads. You can use them in soup. Yes, soup. Have you tried it in okra soup? It's delicious. You need to try it in okra soup. These are helpful ways of, boosting the taste of your food and also adding some nutritional values. Whenever you're making food or preparing food, you should be considering the nutritional content of the ingredients you're using. Yes, you should consider the nutritional content so that when you go shopping, should I buy this, shouldn't I buy this, what is this going to do for me, what would this do for my body, what benefit am I getting, what nutritional benefit am I getting for this. So I'll give this a quick wash. I'll give it a quick wash, then we start the blending process. So I have given them tomatoes a good cut. Then I put them in the tomatoes, the sweet red bell pepper, the ginger, the garlic. They are all in the blender. So I'm gonna blend them. Now, someone might ask, how do you know the quantity of tomatoes or sweet red bell peppers you use, or ginger and garlic? It all depends on you. You know how you want the flavor, the texture. So that will affect the choice of the quantity of tomatoes or sweet red bell pepper or ginger that you want to use. Please don't mind that noise. That is my son. So we're going to give this a quick blend. So this is the already blended tomato puree. Isn't it nice? It looks so beautiful, so colorful, and it's already looking yummy. So right now we're going to introduce it into the pot. You know, the usual technique that we usually use is to fry, you know, to put the vegetable oil in the pot. But I'm not going to be introducing vegetable oil now. I'm just going to pour this into the pot directly for it to, you know, like a steaming process. So there it is in the pot. So I'm going to introduce all of this into the pot. No vegetable oil. Remember I said no vegetable oil. So put all of this, and then just allow the tomato puree to steam. So it's a steaming process. What actually happens is that as it steams, the water dries up, or the liquid dries up. Then at the end, you're going to get a concentrate, a tomato paste concentrate, or you can call it a concentrated puree of the tomatoes. So that is what we're going to get. So this is going to cook for like about it depends on the heat. If you're going to use a low heat, it will take longer to steam. If you're going to use a high heat, but while using a high heat, you have to be very watchful because it can burn. So for me, I have a gas cooker that has a high and then low. So I will just put it on just the medium, you know, medium, so that it doesn't boil. So if I put it on this medium, it's going to take about 1 hour. Yes, 1 hour to steam perfectly, you know. So we're going to wait for this to steam to get the concentrate. So let's watch out for that. So we can see the tomato puree is steaming, and the liquid content or the water is getting dried up. So someone might be asking, why is she steaming her tomatoes? Why not just fry it? Oh well, I think we have to hear this. Steaming is actually very wonderful, you know. It is not a very popular thing that we do, you know, but it's actually very healthy. Steaming can even you know, sometimes the length of cooking is being reduced, but there are so many good advantages, you know, of steaming your food when possible. Whenever possible, it's good you steam. Like I said earlier, steaming conserves all of the nutrients that any ingredient you have contains, you know. By conserving the nutrients, you know, because it does not come in contact with fats, oil or sauces, it is much healthier. It is a much healthier way of cooking food. Another thing again that steaming does is that it reduces the cholesterol level and fat intake of food. Yes, it reduces the cholesterol level. So whenever you steam, you're kind of reducing the cholesterol level of food. Remember, if we're using a vegetable oil to fry, or any kind of oil to fry, you're going to be introducing additional oil to the food, which is not healthy or might not be healthy for whoever is consuming the food. So it is not usually necessary to use oil, butter, or unhealthy ingredients to cook food. So when you steam, just have it in mind that you're reducing the cholesterol level. Maybe you might want to be reducing your cholesterol level, or you might want to be watching the amount of fatty things or oily things that you consume. So another thing again that steaming does, yes, is actually recommended for people who have digestive problem. What do I mean by digestive problem? You know, after eating you feel bloated, you know, you just a little thing you eat and you feel like, oh my gosh, my tummy is actually bloated. So if you frequently eat food, if you frequently eat any food or cook your food by steaming, it can actually help to reduce that. So another thing again that steaming does is that you know, usually it takes for some kind of cooking method, it can take a longer period of time for you to actually cook them, you know, and then you have to add so many unhealthy ingredients while cooking. But when you steam, you sometimes because you're preserving the content of that nutrient, you might not need to add so many unnecessary unhealthy nutrients to your food. So there's so many other benefits of steaming your food that I cannot exhaust now. So but you can find that in my comments. You know, I have a lot to share with you on a healthy way or healthier way to prepare your meals so that you can get the best out of them. So we wait for this. It's actually getting steamed up. So we wait for this to get steamed so that we can go into the next process of making this delicious tomato stew or soup. So you can see it has really turned into a paste, a very nice paste. So while doing this, you just have to be conscious so it doesn't get burnt. So what I usually do is that at the initial stage of preparing it, the gas is usually set on the high, but I check it every now and then. Then when it starts getting the liquid content start getting dried, I reduce the heat. So now the paste is here, but I'm still going to kind of allow it to get more thicker than this. So the heat is now on the low side. So while waiting for it to get dried more, I'm going to be adding onion to this. Yes, fresh onion to this. Do you know the health benefit of consuming onion? If only you know the health benefit of consuming onion, you would add onion to every dish you prepare. Yes, onion is very healthy, but I'm not going to discuss that in today's video. I really have a lot to tell you guys about the health or nutritional content of every foodstuff you buy, every ingredient you use to make your food. You know, when you know the health benefit of any ingredient you use to prepare your meal, you will know what to add, what not to add. You know, it helps a lot. You have an information. In the world we are in now, you don't have to be deformed. You have to be informed about everything. You know, you just have to know what you're consuming so that you have a clear view of what you need and what you don't need. So we're going to cut the onion now and then introduce it into this food. We're going to be steaming the onion too. You know, when you, like I said before, I've enumerated some of the benefit of steaming. So we're going to be steaming the onion too. That will also conserve the nutrient of the onion. Every nutrient the onion has, you're going to be getting it because it's going to be steamed. So I will go right now to cut the onion. So here, this is the chopped onion. This is a ball of onion, you know, a bulb of onion. The bulb can be small or large, so it depends on the quantity you want to use for your dish. So I'm going to be introducing the chopped onion right now into the steaming tomato concentrate. So I'm gonna give it a nice stir. This looks so yummy already, you know. And if you actually taste it, it tastes really good. The tomato on its own usually have this bitter taste while cooking it, but with steaming, that bitter taste often goes away when you add the red pepper and all of the other fresh ingredients that I added, the ginger, the garlic. It gives it a nice taste. So at this point you can taste and see that it tastes good. So we're going to leave this to steam more a little bit. Remember, it's on the low side, the heat is on the low side, so that it doesn't get burnt. So we'll just leave it to steam a little bit. There. So while waiting for the tomato concentrate the puree to actually really get more concentrated, I'm going to be adding my spices. Do you know the health benefit of using spices? You should know. It's very important. So I have I'm going to be adding parsley here. This is parsley. It's going to give the tomato a very nice taste. It's going to actually bring out the flavor of this tomato stew that we're making. So here I'm going to be adding just a teaspoonful of parsley. There, I'm going to give it a very nice aroma and then taste. Then I have my curry powder here. This is thyme. I'm gonna add, you just have to know the quantity. Like this is just a teaspoonful. Then I have curry. This is curry powder. Just add, like, when you're used to cooking, you already know the quantity to introduce. So just a little bit, because I have a curry too in a stock that I'll be using for this. So just give it a nice stir. Everything is steaming, and you're getting so many nutritional content packed in one meal, just the tomato stew or soup. So you just give it a nice stir. I think we're getting ready. So now that is this thick, we have gotten a very nice concentrate. We are going to be adding a little vegetable oil. Yes, just a little vegetable oil to actually give it some, just a little cook, to make it look pleasant, just a little bit. You can actually eat it this way without adding vegetable oil, but like I said, everything has its own advantages and disadvantages depending on the quantity you use. So we're going to add just a little bit of vegetable oil to this. There. So the quantity of vegetable oil you actually add depends on the quantity of concentrated tomato puree you have. So that will then determine the quantity of vegetable you add. Like I said, you just need you don't need much, just a little bit, just to give it a nice texture, just a little fry. Remember, we are not frying, we are actually steaming. So this is ready. So we're going to be introducing. So for the quantity of puree I have, this quantity of vegetable oil is sufficient for it. And remember, I'm going to be adding some stock. So I have to check this out to be sure that it's enough. I don't want it to be too much. You see, just a little bit. So I think I'll just add just a little bit more. This is okay for it. We're not frying, remember, we're not frying. And I have for this tomato puree, at this stage, after adding the vegetable oil, you can just cook for another 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Then you can add your stock, bouillon stock, or your spices. That will be okay. Yeah, at this stage that will be okay. Where you might have added your spices, then you can add salt to taste. Then that will be the food, the stew or the puree, the tomato stew or soup will be ready. But if you can go further to add in your, if you have chicken stock, you can introduce your chicken stock after the puree has cooked for like about 5 to 7 minutes. You add your chicken stock. If you have chicken, meat, or any kind of meat that you want to use, you can then add it and then stir, and then the stew or soup will be ready. So it depends on how you want to use the tomato stew or soup, what you want to use it for. So but here I'm making stew, so I'm going to be adding the chicken stock I have, then the beef, the beef I have for the stew to be ready. So we'll just give it this a good stir and then wait for 3 more minutes, then that will be ready. So right now we're going to be introducing the chicken broth. Yeah, if you have chicken broth, you can use. This is already made chicken broth, so we just introduce it in, then give it a good stir. Give it a good stir. Remember, the heat is still on low, not so low, but just a medium low, so that it doesn't get burnt. We don't want it to get burnt at this stage, so just give it a good stir. There. We just allow it to boil a little bit, then add more water to this. So allow it to boil for another 10 minutes. Wow, so I guess there you go. Our tomato stew is ready. So at this point it is ready. Just taste for salt. Remember, we added the chicken broth. The chicken broth was already seasoned, so you just have to taste, according to your own taste bud, how you want it to taste. But at this point you just add salt. Remember, in all of this thing I made, I did not add salt at any point. The only time I added salt is at this last stage, just to bring out the taste. So but if you taste it and you see that the natural spices that we use have already given it the taste that I require, you don't need to add salt. Salt is just for you to have an additional taste, just to bring out the taste, but it does not actually make the food delicious. So at this point the stew is already ready. If you want to add chicken, beef, meat, you can add, but if you don't want, the stew is ready this way to use it to eat your pasta, rice, or any other thing you want to use it for. So right now I'm going to introduce and then I'll just boil this for maybe 5 minutes, then to be ready. Voila, it looks so delicious. It actually tastes delicious. I don't have to taste it for me to know that it is really delicious. So with this, you have preserved the nutritional content of your tomatoes as much as you can. And when you're eating it, you're getting your lycopene 100%, almost 100%, and all that nutritional content that tomatoes have, including other ingredients like the sweet bell pepper, the ginger, the garlic, and the natural spices that we use. You conserved all of their nutritional content while steaming. So this is ready. Just take off the fire. Voila! So this is the final product. This is the final product. It looks so beautiful, so nutritious, and then highly yummy. So you can try this. When you try this, please comment on the comment section and tell me how much you love this. You know, when you try this, you will never fry your tomatoes in anymore. What you will do is to steam as much food as you can steam. Yeah, steaming is actually very good. It's a very healthy way of cooking food, you know. In these times when you have lots of diseases coming up, you know, you want to preserve the nutrients of the natural ingredients you use to cook. So steaming is a very beautiful way of preserving the nutrients of the natural ingredients you use to cook. So please comment on this recipe, on this healthy tomato recipe. I'm going to be coming up pretty soon with the useful benefits of using red bell pepper and all of other ingredients that we actually don't know their benefits. So please subscribe to my channel, share and comment, and do have a beautiful day. Bye.